Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the latest edition of the Hollywood Purgatory podcast. This is where the entertainment industry comes to get judged.
Mhm.
I am your resident Houston Astros fan living in LA, Jeffrey Harris of 411 Mania. On the other end of the line, we have Jay Snook of the Good Men Project. Say hello, Jay.
Hello there, Sacramento, California. What's up?
All right. So, leading off for tonight, we just wanted to go over the main Academy Award winners, the main winners in the big, the major categories this year.
Yeah.
So reading the results before we get started of the winners, were you happy with the winners this year, Jay?
Some yes and some no. It's just the honest to God truth.
Some yes and some no.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I kind of want to just here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go over the major categories,
hmm
like the major categories,
hmm
and we'll go over who else was nominated,
hmm
who won, and just go from there.
Okay.
Where would you like to start off with Best Picture, or start off like supporting actor and move on from
No,
there?
let's start with Best Picture and just go
All
down.
right, let's just go ahead. We'll start. That's how we roll. We're starting with Best Picture. So the
Yeah.
big winner of the night, of course, was The Shape of Water.
hmm
Um, Best Picture for producers Guillermo del Toro, who
hmm
also directed and co-wrote the film, and J. Miles Dale.
hmm
Here are the other nominees for Best Picture: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, a film you really like, Phantom Thread, The Post, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. So those were our nominees for this year. I personally loved Shape of Water. Have no problem with it winning. What about you?
I was honestly a little surprised because not only was Lady Bird, I think, a better film, but it got a lot of real good positive buzz. So did Get Out. I mean, those are two movies that I thought
So
had a
did so did Shape of Water.
You may be, but I don't know. Just for me,
What do you
I
mean?
thought it was,
What do you mean? Maybe it's not a maybe. It's fact.
in my opinion, I was like, it was good, but I like to Get Out and Lady Bird
All
more.
right, but we're talking about positive buzz, and in The Shape of Water, its reception was just as positive as any of the films you mentioned.
That's true. Just when I found out that one won, I was like, oh, of all those, that one, huh? Didn't see that coming. I was actually more surprised of anything else by it winning Best Picture. Let's put it that way.
Honestly, I thought it would have been The Post, uh, or, but I'm happy to see The Shape of Water one. But then again, I'm not all that invested with Best
Uh,
Picture and what have you.
uh,
Um, was a lot of Christopher Nolan fans are very upset about Dunkirk.
uh,
Here's the thing about Christopher Nolan. Like, why are Christopher Nolan fans so obsessed with him winning an Academy Award?
uh,
Like, him winning does not validate, it doesn't improve or validate your life. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, yeah.
Isn't that a little weird to get work? Like, people are actually writing on forums that Nolan needs to do like smaller, more deeper films so he'll win an Oscar. Like,
Mm.
why? Nolan is Christopher Nolan not making the films he wants to make, Jay?
I think so, yeah. But when it comes to Dunkirk, I still like Their Finest much more. That's
Their
just better.
finest.
Yeah, it was a film that had Bill Nighy in it. It told the story of how the film Dunkirk came to be, and it was a much better film, I thought, than Dunkirk. Even though Dunkirk had a bigger cast, Their Finest was better in my opinion.
I haven't even heard of this film.
Yeah, that was a good film. It was good. It told about like how like the idea of making the movie Dunkirk came to be. But it was an older version of it. It wasn't the version we saw, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah, this movie. It has an interesting cast, but
I liked it a lot more than Dunkirk actually.
Dunkirk was a good movie, though.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying I liked Their Finest better.
Their finest is not about the Dunkirk evacuation, though.
No,
It's
it's about how they like brought the story to life and made it into a movie.
why why is it why is that better than a movie about the actual event, though?
Because it was too over the top. I mean, like it was a
You
good
thought
story. Don't
Nolan's
be wrong.
film was too over the top.
Yes, it was a good story, but it was too over the top, and the ending was
Was
kind of lackluster.
was the Best Picture winner The Shape of Water too over the top?
No, I won't say it was too over the top. It just was. It was good, but there are other films on that list that blew me away much more than that one.
Like Get Out?
Get Out and Lady Bird. Those two I was much more impressed by when I leaving than I was for Shape of Water.
Of course, there's only one movie I think really should have won Best Picture this year, and it wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, but it won an award anyway.
What film was that?
Coco.
That's right. That is the true Best Picture of 2017, folks.
I think Lady Bird was. That's just me. Difference of opinion.
No, and that's difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, there's no reason Coco can't get nominated for Best Picture. There isn't a single reason.
Well, let's just move on from there. So I do want to go to actress next. It's the next one I see.
No, because you wanted to start with Best Picture. We're going down
Best Picture, didn't we?
We started with Best Picture, so we're going on down. We're going to Best Director first.
Oh, well, Variety Actress is next.
What?
Variety has Actress next.
We're going, but we're not going by Variety. We're going by my list.
Well, that's a list I see.
Okay, well, too bad. We're going Best Director. So,
whatever.
So Best Director winner was Guillermo del Toro yet again. Shape of Water was really the big winner last night. Also nominated Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, and Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread. So Guillermo del Toro wins his first Academy Award of his directorial career. Of course, a lot of Nolan fans are upset that Dunkirk didn't take home either award.
Yeah.
Nolan fans have been stumping for Nolan for a long time. Jordan Peele didn't get it for Get Out. I know you were a big fan of Lady Bird and probably were rooting for Greta Gerwig.
I was, yes.
And Paul Thomas, let's see, has Paul Thomas, I feel like he has, but it's been a while, so I'm going to look that up.
You're not sure.
So your thoughts on Guillermo del Toro winning for Best Director?
Again, just to me, it wasn't he's done better works in my opinion. I mean, even
such as what?
Like Pan's Labyrinth. I liked that more than The Shape of Water.
Okay. And what else?
I still like what he did with the first two Hellboy movies. I really liked it.
You think do you think those films are worthy of Best Director?
I thought so.
Really?
Yes.
The Hellboy movies.
Because he did such a good job taking characters that weren't that well known, getting a good cast together, and telling a good story.
Those weren't award movies, Jay.
I just think that I like those better than The Shape of Water.
Do you think he should have gotten more recognition for Pan's Labyrinth?
I thought he did, didn't he? Am I wrong? I thought he got at least nominated for that, didn't he?
I think he was nominated, but he didn't win anything.
I wonder what his competition was.
I mean, that was a while ago. We're talking like over 10 years ago. So let me see here. His first nomination was for Pan's Labyrinth for Best Original Screenplay, and he didn't win.
Oh.
All right, so let me ask you this. Some people think Guillermo del Toro was awarded for his body of work rather than Shape of Water. What do you think about that? Do you think that's true?
I don't know. Because I know he's in the two Hellboy movies. He did Pan's Labyrinth. What else has he done?
You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes people make the argument that an actor or a filmmaker will win the Oscar because they didn't get it for a previous movie. You know what I'm talking about here? Yeah,
but again, I don't know. I just don't know a lot of his previous films. I know that he did the Hellboy movies.
He made Blade 2.
Okay.
Hellboy 2. Pan's Labyrinth. The Devil's Backbone. Okay. What was the other one? Crimson Peak. And then The Shape of Water.
Yeah, I will say this. The Shape of Water was better than Crimson Peak. Crimson Peak sucked. That movie was terrible.
I wouldn't say it sucked, but it was underwhelming.
It was
not his best work.
I think it's one of the first movies I saw Tom Hiddleston in. I was God, you sucked in this.
Even Steven Spielberg has not hit it at. Here's my gist on that. Here's my take on that. You can't hit a home run every time you're at bat.
That's true.
To use a baseball reference.
Yeah, I agree. So
Steven Spielberg has made underwhelming, disappointing films.
Yeah, he's had a lot more I don't think Guillermo del Toro has had as many
Oh, Pacific Rim.
Did
Do
he
you
do
like?
that? You're
He
right. He
directed
did.
Pacific Rim. Yeah.
Oh, how do you not get recognition for that? I'm kind of surprised.
Because Pacific Rim is a movie about giant robots fighting giant
I know,
monsters.
but the sequel's
It's
coming out later this month, so you would
okay.
think
Yeah,
it
there's a
did really
sequel.
well.
It didn't. It did respectable. It didn't do great. And
Mm.
also Pacific Rim. Look, you're confusing like we're talking about awards recognition versus like commercial appeal. Pacific Rim is not the type of movie that gets nominated for the major awards other than like technical categories, right? That's
Okay.
what I'm you wouldn't get it's not surprising that he doesn't get nominated for
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Rim or the Hellboy films. You know?
Mm.
Like the Hellboy films, those are comic book movies. They're comic book superhero movies, and those usually do not get awards recognition. Heath Ledger as the Joker is the first time a comic book movie received an award for an acting performance.
Mm.
That's the not an Academy Award period, but the first time it received an Academy Award for for like something other than Best Visual Effects. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, who did you want to win Best Director?
Honestly, for me, it kind of goes down to two people. I definitely would like Greta Gerwig, especially because it turns out she's from Sacramento, and I actually found out that she was in a play I saw like 10, 15 years ago, and
All right.
just did an amazing job just with Lady Bird. I mean, she took it's a love letter to Sacramento. It's just a great film from start to finish. I watched it again recently. I got a Blu-ray of it. I'm just like, man, I love this movie. There's nothing bad I can say about that movie, and it's rare for me nowadays to be in that mindset.
Did you like Three Billboards, Jay?
Three Billboards was okay. I mean, it's not a bad film. It's just again the ending is kind of odd. But what was interesting to me was Peter Dinklage was in it, and like I think he did a really good job. And he wasn't really they didn't push him as much for it because I didn't know. I was like, wait,
Okay.
Peter Dinklage is in this? I didn't know that. So it was kind of like it wasn't a bad film, but I don't know. It could have been better.
Do you think it was wrong that Steven Spielberg wasn't nominated for The Post or Graham Broadbent wasn't nominated for Three Billboards for directing?
I don't know. To be fair, I haven't seen The Post, and I've heard it's not a bad film, but they didn't even do a screening here for it. So
Okay.
it's something that they clearly weren't trying to push out to everybody.
Well, you aren't. I mean, you are in Sacramento, and that's a smaller film.
But still, we usually get screenings for almost everything, so it's kind of weird.
Even like the smaller award hopefuls.
Yeah, usually every now and again.
All
I mean,
right.
it's rare we don't get for something. So it's
All
kind of
right.
like they only didn't do I Tanya and like The Post, and that was weird because it was like they were movies they were trying to like hey, go see this. It looks like a great film. And
Okay. All right. So now we'll go ahead and do Best Actress now. So this
okay.
Frances McDormand. Someone tried to steal her Oscar statue. Apparently.
Wait, are we doing actress or actor?
We're doing actress now.
Okay. Okay.
Frances McDormand wins for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri for her role as Mildred Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Also nominated was Sally Hawkins, The Shape of Water, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, Meryl Streep for The Post. So Frances McDormand, she's been highly acclaimed for this role. Let me see what I feel like she's won an award before.
I don't know, to be honest.
I'm checking on that. So this is her second. I'm sorry, her second Oscar win of her career. She won in 1997 for Best Actress for Fargo. So this is her second Best Actress win. So what do you make of her win for Three Billboards?
Again, it was a little surprising. I mean, she wasn't bad in the film,
right?
But really, I think I really actually honestly. It's a very close tie where I would have either wanted to see Sally Hawkins win because she was amazing in Shape of Water. She did such an amazing job just with
you weren't that enthused about Shape of Water, but you wanted Sally Hawkins to win.
But let me explain why. Because her performance was so good, she didn't even really say a single word, but she had a lot of.
She was very believable. She was very believable.
Great character. She did a great job, did all that stuff. And then it was either her or Saoirse Ronan, just because Saoirse did I really like Ciorzy in Brooklyn. I loved her in this, so it was a very close tie
Did you
between
ever
those
see The
two.
Lovely Bones with Cersei?
I haven't seen that one, no.
Have you seen The Host?
No, I didn't see that. That was
Okay.
pretty terrible though, because that was the same person who did the Twilight books, right?
It's no, it's not the same person. It's based on a book by Stephanie Meyer, who is the
Yeah.
author of the Twilight books. It
But
was based.
yeah.
It's
But
same author of the source material, but it wasn't like
yeah.
the same filmmakers.
But like I said, she was really good in Brooklyn. I thought she was amazing in
All
that.
right,
So I
all
would have
right.
loved to see
So
either of them win.
this is the only one I felt passionate about. Like, I'm really not that invested in like who wins and whatnot, but this was the only one where I felt like Gary Oldman really deserves this win for his
Yeah.
role as Winston Churchill. And lo and behold, he wins for Darkest Hour in his
Mhm.
role as Winston Churchill. This is the first Academy Award win of Gary Oldman's career. Also nominated was Timothy Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name,
Mhm.
Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire.
I want to say Daniel Day-Lewis and Denzel Washington probably already have Oscars. I would think. I'd be surprised if they did.
Denzel Washington has two: Training Day and Glory.
Now, what about Daniel Day-Lewis? I'd imagine he'd have, right?
Let me look up Washington. So Washington has two wins and multiple
Yeah,
nominations.
I'd imagine.
Daniel Day-Lewis. I feel like Daniel Day-Lewis has a win for The Boxer. I want to say
Wasn't he in Gangs of New York?
he was in Gangs of New York.
I'd imagine he would have
All
one
right, so
for that.
here we go for Daniel Day-Lewis. Win for My Left Foot, 1990.
Huh.
Nominated for In the Name of the Father, 1994. Nominated in 2003 for Gangs of New York. He didn't get it for The Boxer. My mistake. I'm sorry. He won in 2008 for There Will Be Blood.
Hmm.
And he won again for Steven Spielberg's Lincoln in 2013.
I still need to see that. I've heard Lincoln is amazing, but I haven't had a chance to see it.
So he has three Best Oscar wins at this point.
But I heard Phantom Thread. Well, actually, when I saw the trailer for Phantom Thread, it looked really freaking weird. I was not in any rush to see that one. I'm still not, to be honest.
Same as me.
But Gary Oldman doesn't surprise me. I still kind of would have liked to have seen Daniel Kaluuya win.
Why?
But just because he did such a good job at Get Out. I mean, he did.
I think he did a good job, but I mean, to me, like, if you're going to receive a golden statue, it has to be more than a good job.
Fair enough.
I feel like Gary Oldman's performance was like a classic, iconic, transcendent performance. And I like Daniel Kaluuya, and I think he's really good in Get Out. But to me, that's not like a give that guy best actor. It's not that type of performance to me.
Yeah, he was also really good in Black Panther. He was really good in that.
Right. All right, but that's like he's like a supporting role. He is good in Black Panther for sure. He's a good actor. He's good.
The good thing about him is it probably won't be his last chance.
He's also good on Black Mirror on Netflix. You know that show?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like an anthology show. It's kind of like a modern day Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I didn't use on that. Interesting.
A lot of good actors are on that show. I think I want to say Haley Atwell was on there too, and she was really good.
Wow.
They've had some really good actor showcases on that series. So, I thought Get Out was a good movie, but some of the awards acclaim, it's like I don't know. To me it doesn't fit what a lot of these kind of award season films. I'm not. Again, I thought Daniel Kaluuya, he's really good, and he's good in the movie. But if you're going to nominate that film, like, you should nominate Coco for Best Picture, right? I mean, you can nominate it up to 10 films, right, for Best Picture. Yeah. Isn't that what the newer rules, the updated rules said?
I want to say yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only had 8. I feel like Coco could have been another Best Picture.
But speaking of Coco, though, one thing I was glad about Coco, because they got robbed at the Golden Globes,
Right.
was "Remember Me" did win for original song. I'm so happy when I heard that because that song deserved it. It was such an amazing song, a heartfelt song. I mean, heck, that scene when Miguel's singing it with his grandma, you can't help but get tug at the heartstrings a little bit because it's such a heartfelt moment. It's like so yeah. When I
All right,
heard
let's
that
just
one,
go
I was
ahead and
like,
do
good,
best original song.
yeah.
Remember Me from Coco, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez,
Yeah.
who've done a lot of they've done a lot of Disney animated features together. Um, this one was Pixar, but it's still Disney.
Mm.
Let's see what else. Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love from Call Me by Your Name, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, This Is Me from Greatest Showman. I think This Is Me was the other favorite for best original song.
But that one won a Golden Globe, so I was kind of glad it didn't win an Oscar.
Did you like Greatest Showman or?
I still haven't seen it, but I did like Marshall. And I was kind of surprised when Stand Up for Something was nominated because I must have
Okay.
missed when we did our last episode because before the Oscars, so I was like, oh yeah, that was a good movie.
I love that song Remember Me though, and I think Coco is very deserving of that award and even
Yeah.
more awards, quite frankly.
Well, of course, the big no shock at all was that they got for animated feature. That was just no surprise.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Best animated feature is like it to me. It's a consolation prize, just so more deserving films can't be considered for best picture. It's a to me it to me it's a glass ceiling for those films. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have that category, but I'm saying it's wrong that those films can't be considered for higher awards. But let's move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have a big debate about that. So best supporting actor, Sam Rockwell wins for Three Billboards. So how many did Three Billboards win? I want to
A
see.
handful.
Two, only two.
Mm-hmm.
So best actress and best supporting actor, but that's still pretty good for a smaller film like that. So Willem Dafoe got nominated for The Florida Project.
Mm-hmm.
So Willem Dafoe's been nominated multiple times, never won.
Mm-hmm.
Woody Harrelson gets nominated. He was nominated as well for the same movie, Three Billboards. Richard Jenkins for Shape of Water, and Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World.
I would have preferred to see Woody Harrelson win just because
Right?
he was so much better in the movie. I mean, Sam Rockwell is good. Don't be wrong; he does a good job, a good performance. But Woody Harrelson was just better. I mean, like his performance was just so much better than I think Sam Rockwell was. Just my opinion.
So this was Woody Harrelson's third nomination for an Academy Award. He has yet to win.
Man,
He won in.
and of course Willem Dafoe. He was the best thing about the Florida Project. I didn't really like the movie too much, but Willem Dafoe did an amazing.
Poor Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he did every spectrum of the rainbow. He wore different
But
hats.
look, it took Gary Oldman a while, so maybe it'll be the same for Willem Dafoe. So
maybe because he was the best thing about the Florida Project. He really was, and even Richard Jenkins did a pretty damn good job in The Shape of Water.
I thought Richard Jenkins was fantastic in Shape of Water. All right.
Like we said before, one thing that was really interesting about this year was there was a lot of competition where like a number of people could have gotten it. So that was
I think that's very fair. Best supporting actress, Allison Janney wins for I, Tonya.
Mm-hmm.
Mary J. Blige was also nominated for Mudbound. Blige, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird. And Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. Let's see, Allison Janney. All right, so what do you think of Allison Janney winning for I, Tonya?
I think it's kind of weird. I still haven't seen the movie Fair, but
this is her first nomination too. So first nomination, first win.
Was it Laurie Metcalf's first too?
I think so, yeah.
I would have liked to see Laurie win just because she was, again, so great in it. And I want to say Octavia's already won, right? For like The Help or something?
Yeah, I believe you are correct.
So I would have liked to see Laurie Metcalf win, to be honest.
You really I can understand that. You really loved Lady Bird.
It wasn't just I loved the movie, it's Laurie Metcalf did an amazing job in it. She played the character she has to play every day.
Spencer won for The Help, nominated for Hidden Figures and Shape of Water. So this is her third.
Wait, did she not win for Hidden Figures?
No, she didn't.
Damn, that's kind of surprising.
I mean, sometimes I think the voters, the Academy voters, think, oh, that person already won, so we'll give it to them for, you know.
Maybe you're right.
We know. I know voters in the past have expressed, I'm going to vote for this actor because he should have won for a previous film. I'm not saying they should vote based on that, but we know that mentality, it does exist.
Yeah.
Not correct, but it does exist.
Sure.
I forget who won. I don't know who won for that year. I want to look. I want to look that up. 2016. Viola Davis for Fences.
Oh, interesting. I didn't get a chance to see that one, sadly, but I heard it was good.
Okay. So, and that looked like a competitive field too. So, I mean,
did Taraji P. Henson at least win?
Look, for what?
Hidden Figures.
Let me see.
I want to say she did. But again, if there was a lot of competition, who knows, right?
Emma Stone for La La Land.
Yeah, that's right. That year, I remember that year now.
Taraji Henson wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, but that year they said that La La Land won when La La Land didn't win for the Best Picture, right?
You could be right.
Yeah, they screwed up. But they're like, no, this one didn't win. It was this one that was Best Picture. Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
Best Picture was Moonlight. So there you go.
Yeah, but they tried to say it was La La Land. They're like, no, it's actually this. And they had called up all the people when they realized the mistake.
All right. So, but I mean, look, it's all opinion at the end of the day. I mean,
true.
Whoever wins and loses. All right. Best Original Screenplay, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Wins for Get Out. The Big Sick was also nominated. Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor. And Three Billboards, Martin McDonough. So Get Out, Jordan Peele wins his first Academy Award. I want to say it was his first nomination as well. So
I'm kind of glad he won it for that, because it was a bummer he didn't get it for the film. So at least he got it for that. So,
well, you know what? One thing I noticed in the past is like the screenplay awards will like go to a film that doesn't win other big awards. Do you ever notice that?
Sometimes, yeah.
I think that it doesn't happen all the time, but I think it happens fairly, not frequently, but infrequently, I would say.
Sometimes, sure.
So let me see. So he also was nominated for Best Director, and he shared the Best Picture nominee award. So he got 3 nominations, and he wins 1. Now, all in all, that's pretty good, you know, because this was his like first film after leaving Key and Peele and you know, making the move to be like a director. So that's pretty good for him. And he gets nominated 3 times for the same movie, and he gets to take 1 home. So, you know, that's pretty good.
That's true.
All right. So Best Adapted. I will say one last note on Best Original Screenplay. I would have given it to Emily V. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani. I'm sorry, Kumail. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Kumail Nanjiani for The Big Sick. I thought that was a really good film.
I still haven't seen it, but I heard it was good.
It's very good, and I highly recommend it. And I think a little too long, but I think it's very well written. And the relationships are.
Did Judd Apatow do that one?
What was that?
Didn't Judd Apatow do that one?
He produced it. He didn't write or direct it.
Okay.
It was directed by Michael Showalter. Judd Apatow did produce the film. A bit too long, but I think it's a very well done film. All right, so Best Adapted Screenplay. Call Me by Your Name. James Ivory wins. It's based on the novel by Andre Aciman. Let's see what else was nominated. The Disaster Artist, Scott Neustadter, and Michael H. Weber, based on the book by Greg Sestero and Tom Bissell. Logan, screenplay by Scott Frank, James Mangold, and Michael Green, based on the X-Men comics. Molly's Game, Aaron Sorkin, based on the memoir by Molly Bloom. And finally, Mudbound, Virgil Williams and Dee Rees, based on the novel by Hilary Jordan. So Call Me by Your Name wins Best Adapted Screenplay. Your thoughts, Jay?
I really would have preferred Logan to win. I really would have.
I think that was like the only big award Logan got. Surprising. So maybe I think Logan's problem was it came out too early last year.
That could be a possibility.
Because the awards tend to favor the films that come out later in the year. Usually, not always, but usually.
That's true. That's
like when Gladiator won Best Picture, I think that one came out in like May, but that was such a big movie and a swords and sandals movie. All right, so next is Best Animated Feature. Coco wins for directors Lee Unkrich and Darla K. Anderson. Also, oh my god, it literally turns my stomach that I'm about to say The Boss Baby. The Breadwinner, Ferdinand, and Loving. Well, thank God Coco won, because this field is not impressive at all.
Well, that's why Coco won. It didn't really have any competition. I mean, it was a good movie. They did a very good job with it. No wrong.
There were better animated movies that came out last year, for sure.
Yeah, there were. Didn't they
Your Name should have been.
Wasn't there Despicable Me 3 that came out last year?
What was it?
Despicable Me 3, didn't that come out last year?
Biggle Me?
No, Despicable Me 3.
Despicable Me, yeah, but that movie was not good.
I disagree. That's just me.
And it got bad reviews. See, Despicable Me 3. Yeah, it didn't get very good reviews at all. It didn't even do well with audiences either. It's definitely it wasn't. I mean, I love Coco, and I'm glad it won a couple awards, but I mean, come on, that's not a that's. I mean, Ferdinand. I'm not going to say Ferdinand's an okay film. All right, it's okay-ish, but it's not. It's not worthy of. It's not even worthy of a nomination. I'm sorry.
It's not. I still think Cars 3 should have been nominated over that, because Cars 3 was better than Ferdinand.
Boss Baby was terrible.
I beg to differ, but that's just me.
Why do you like Boss Baby?
Because I thought it was a fun film, and it had Steve Buscemi and Alec Baldwin and Tobey Maguire. I thought it was a fun film.
Like, nothing about that film makes sense. Okay, it shouldn't have been nominated. Your name should have been nominated. Look that film up, everybody. That is a good film, a good animated film. You should all see. All right, so let's move on from there. We're kind of getting. All right, let's go ahead and do Best Original Score. The Shape of Water, Alexander Desplat wins. Also nominated Dunkirk, Hans Zimmer, Phantom Thread, Johnny Greenwood, Star Wars The Last Jedi, John Williams, and Three Billboards, Carter Burwell.
I actually wasn't surprised by Shape of Water winning that, because the score was pretty goddamn good, so I wasn't surprised.
Good, very good music, melodic, very...
Yeah.
Elegant music in that film.
Yeah, that was the one that didn't surprise me. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I could see that one winning. And really, first of all, I'm pretty goddamn sure John Williams has won at least one, if not a couple of Academy Awards. I mean, seriously. He's done all those Star Wars films since episode 4, hasn't he?
He's done every Star Wars film except the anthology ones.
So, yeah, he probably has at least a few Academy Awards already. You know, so I'm like, you don't really need to win. And like I said, the score for Shape of Water was pretty impressive. I'll give it that. You know, it's like, okay.
Let's see. I want to see exactly how many. Like, he has more nominees than I can count, but how many is he at? He won for these are Golden Globes. Okay, he won for Schindler's List. Not surprising. What else did he win for? He also won for E.T.
That's it?
So, and he won for E.T., Jaws, and the first Star Wars.
Okay, episode 4, that makes sense.
There might be some and Fiddler on the Roof. Okay. He won for that. So he's been nominated. He's been nominated many, many times, but he's only won a handful of times, but he's won for some very good films.
Yeah, the score in episode 4 was pretty goddamn impressive, so that doesn't surprise me.
I like the music for The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good. I mean,
Last Jedi was, I'm fine. I don't hate the movie like some Star Wars fans do.
I don't hate it either. I just it could have been better, but we've
Okay.
talked about that many times.
Those are the main ones, but the only other one I wanted to mention was Darkest Hour, one for best makeup and hairstyling. Kazuhiro Tsuji, David Malinowski, and Lucy Sibic. I think that film is deserving of recognition for that, because I feel like to get that performance from Gary Oldman, you need that great makeup work and his performance as well. So I think they
what was the competition they went against?
Let me see. What competition?
Yeah.
Only two other films, Victoria and Abdul and Wonder. So it didn't have a very competitive field this year.
I thought that Wonder had pretty good makeup and costumes, and really but again, that category is kind of like the animated feature, where you're like, if Darkest Hour somehow didn't win, you'd be like, wait, how didn't it? And it didn't. That wasn't really much competition. Yeah, like there was. Yes, that was kind of weird category.
All right, so let's. And the only other thing I wanted to mention was Kobe Bryant gets an Academy Award for winning for Dear Basketball. Glenn Keane and Kobe Bryant. So,
strange.
Your thoughts on that?
I don't really have any thoughts. This is weird.
Why is it weird?
I don't know. I mean,
you say it's weird, but you can't explain why.
So what even was Dear Basketball? What the heck even was it? Documentary?
It's best animated short film.
Well, animated short film. Jeez, never even heard of it. Maybe that's why it's weird to me. I'm like, what?
Well, he wrote it.
Okay.
It was directed by Glenn Keane, so that's why he got an Academy Award for it. So it seems like you're being a little unfair to Kobe Bryant, Jay.
It's just, I don't know. It's just like, I'm just more like, wait, so you did something I've never even heard of and you got an Academy Award for it? Okay, I don't know.
So now Kobe Bryant, he has 2 gold medals.
Yeah.
He has, let's see how many. He's a 5-time NBA champion.
An MVP, got too many times probably.
Two-time NBA Finals MVP. An 18-time NBA All-Star. 4-time NBA All-Star MVP. And now he has an Academy Award. So he's got Olympic gold medals, he's got NBA titles, and he's got an Academy Award. How do you like that?
Is he still playing, or is he retired finally?
He's retired from professional basketball.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That guy's winning at life, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a lot to show for it. That's for sure.
I mean, man, Kobe Bryant. Hey,
only other basketball star who probably could say he at least was nominated for Academy Award might be Michael Jordan. That's probably it.
Right.
First Space Jam.
But I mean, come on, man. I mean, think about like what he could tell his grandkids. He could talk about, I won an Academy Award once. That's why that's up on our mantle. I won it for Dear Basketball. And he's like, hey, Grandpa, why do you have this Academy Award in between all your sports titles? Well, don't you think that's kind of funny? That's kind of funny, even if you're not into sports, Jay. Come on.
I don't know. Maybe it's just too weird.
Come on, I need a little more than that. We're trying to have fun here. It sounds like you're not a big Kobe Bryant fan.
Not really, no.
Why? Who's your favorite basketball player? Is it Michael Jordan?
I don't really pay attention to basketball, but the Kings, because the Kings, they got rid of all the players I knew. They traded them. There's Divock, who's got part ownership of the team now, but there's just like, I don't pay attention to basketball as much as I used to, because the Kings have the new stadium. I haven't gone to any games in forever, and like I said, they trade all the players I knew. So,
but don't you think it's funny, the idea that you have this amazing, like, world-class elite basketball player, and he's got all these like sports titles, and now he can add like an Academy Award to that? Isn't that kind of funny?
It's definitely interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally easy. So he's like gold medal from the Olympics, NBA. Oh, and here's my Academy Award from the time we won Best Animated Short.
Yeah, true.
Hey, Props to Kobe Bryant. Way to go, Kobe Bryant. All right. So, final thoughts on the Academy Awards, Jay. Any big takeaways for you?
Really, the takeaways for me was there were some I wasn't surprised that won. Others I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming, and there were some that I was glad they won because I didn't know if they would. Like I said, remember me? I was definitely like I was hoping it was going to win. It got robbed before, and I didn't know if it would, but luckily it did. So,
Okay.
and this was definitely a
I
year. The
mean,
last thing I'll say is this was definitely a year of some competition. There were some categories like, man, there's a few people who could get it, who
right.
deserved to get it, who did a good job, they earned it, So that was because the Golden Globes, there wasn't as much of that. It was more like, okay, this person's going to get that person. You could predict it a lot easier. With this one, it wasn't as easy to predict, at least for me anyway.
Okay. But I'm very happy for Guillermo del Toro. I've enjoyed his films for a long time, and I really like Shape of Water. So I'm glad he won both for Best Picture and Best Director.
Mm-hmm.
And not because of his previous films. I do think Shape of Water was a good, and of course I'm very happy that Gary Oldman won for Darkest Hour because I love his performance in that film, and I really had a good time with that film. And also I think Darkest Hour is a great companion piece to Dunkirk. You can watch those films together because they're sort of set around the same time, and there's a large chunk of Darkest Hour that's like right around the whole Dunkirk evacuation, which I think is pretty neat.
That's true. Yeah, you can watch them in order. You can watch Their Finest first, then Dunkirk, then Darkest Hour.
Right. Blade Runner. One thing I will note: Blade Runner 2049 didn't get any major awards, but it did take home 2 technical awards. For best visual effects. I mean, deservedly so. And I think it won. What else did it win? It also won for best cinema. Oh, Roger Deakins, yeah, all the way. So good on Blade Runner. Those are 2 categories it definitely earned. So
I think visual was the only ones like that I thought kind of like I had a chance was either Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Blade Runner 2049.
I think it's very very deserving for Blade Runner. Okay.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it was
no.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I understand what you're saying. All right, so that was the 2018 Academy Awards. So now we're gonna veer off from that quite a bit. So now we're going into TV stuff, some Netflix stuff. So we got our new season of Voltron. We got six episodes for season 5 because they're trickling them out and they're calling them seasons when these are really just half seasons. This is the main thing I don't like about how they're delivering the episodes on Netflix. These should not be like singular seasons. Just call them do it like Amazon does it. Do a half season. So how did you like these first 6 episodes of, or I guess these 6 episodes for season 5?
I liked them, and they were kind of surprising. There was some stuff that happened. I was like, dang, I did not know that was going to happen that way. Like, there was a death that happened, like episode 2 or 3.
I have some thoughts on that. I don't think we saw what we saw.
Okay, well, maybe you could be right. But regardless, so it actually this season, thank God, because I think it was season 3 or season 4, had like 1 or 2 really bad episodes.
Right.
This one didn't have any bad episodes. There was 1 or 2 moments that kind of veered off in little weird directions, like when they had the robot pal that they reprogrammed. But that was about it. That was the only part I was like, this is kind of stupid. This is unnecessary. You don't really need this. I understood why it was there, but that was my only real qualm with this season.
All right. So this season is the Voltron have now made an uneasy alliance with Prince Lotor, where they're at war with the Galra, and the Galra Empire is definitely vulnerable because I mean Zarkon, he's not in the best health, and then you have Lotor's. They're trying to use Lotor to usurp Zarkon basically, and then Hagar. We know that Hagar now is Altean, that is Allora's race, and we also know that Hagar is also the mother of Prince Lotor, and they found that what is it? The quintessence corrupted Hagar.
Yeah.
like when you're exposed to too much quintessence, it like makes you dark and evil. So that's what happened to Zarkon and Hagar.
Yes.
Too much exposure to too much of that quintessence, it basically messed them up. And that so we got some clarity with that. And Lotor has made an alliance with the Voltron Force, and they're trying to, I guess, install him as sort of the new monarch of the Galra, to have a more moderate leader that can make peace with the rest of the oppressed galaxy. And then Keith he's still off doing his own thing with the Blade of Mulmora. And he has a bit of a family reunion in one episode. And we do remember back in season 3 where Shiro escaped from captivity, and then they were like Project Kuron is a go. Now we're actually seeing that Shiro is not acting himself this season. He's acting a little more recklessly, and he's acting angry, and he's acting out, and he's disobeying orders from Allura. I think there's something very wrong with Shiro, because we know the Galra either did something to him, or that's not Shiro. My theory is that's not Shiro. What do you think?
It may not be. It's because we saw one moment where, Shiro tries to say something to, I believe it was Lance, which is kind of interesting, and we don't really find out
like
what.
In like this mental projection field, and like they were all there, and Shiro was the only pilot who was there, and like something weird was happening, right?
Yeah.
So I have a couple theories. One, he's like a Galron in disguise that maybe has some of Shiro's DNA, because remember, Shiro was a prisoner of the Galra for quite some time.
Sure.
And they could have taken samples of his DNA,
Maybe.
and they could have cloned him, or it could be like the Skrulls, where the Skrulls can make perfect copies. They can make themselves look exactly like a hero, and you would never know. So it could be something like that. Like he's a Skrull in disguise. He's a Galra spy in disguise or something. So,
well, what if he's like a sleeper agent? Like he doesn't know that he's under their control, but like he could be.
There could be a lot of stuff. Like he could be a clone. Remember when he got out? What did that guy say? They basically let him go, and they said Project Kuron is a go. Do you know what Kuron means? It's Japanese. It's Japanese for clone.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean Shiro is a clone, but it seems to be hinting at that. So, and now I will say, if it is Shiro, he could have been brainwashed.
That's true too.
And he could be doing things he's not, like his programming could be making him do things he doesn't want to do. Now remember, what happened to him in the second season? He was in the Black Line, and he like disappeared, right?
Right.
So something tells me the real Shiro is like stuck somewhere like in the Black Line, in like some sort of alternate dimension. That's what I believe. And the guy who's leading the Voltron Force right now, I don't believe that's the original Shiro.
Probably not.
What do you think about that theory?
It's a possibility. I mean, truthfully, this is a season that kind of by the end leaves you with more questions than answers.
Right.
You get a lot of stuff answered, but there's a lot of stuff you're like, well, wait. Huh?
Well, because it's not, to me, this isn't a full season.
No, it's not.
It's not. And to me, this is the biggest flaw of how they're releasing the show, is because, like, remember, the first season we got 13 episodes, right?
Correct.
Second season we got I think we got 13, didn't we?
I think it was like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, we got like 10 or 11 episodes, and but that's like a more substantial season. And now, ever since 4, they're doing like now or 3, they're doing like 5 and 6, really, right?
Like 7 and 6.
They're splitting them up to make it artificially longer, and I don't like that, Jay. What do you think about that?
I liked it better this season, but it's still a little weird.
But I wanna look up the episode count for season 2 was 13 episodes. Season 3 was 7. Season 4 was 6. And season 5, we know we're getting season 5 is only going to be 6. I don't like that, because I feel like give us all 12 episodes, and that's like a full season. because this kind of ended abruptly because this wasn't where the season naturally ended.
Mm.
Do you think I'm wrong here?
No, but I do want to talk about one of the
What?
happier moments of the season. I do want to talk about that,
Which is what?
where we finally have what's the girl who runs the Green Lion? What's her name?
Allura.
No,
Oh no, Pidge.
Yeah, Pidge
Pidge.
and her brother finally find their dad. That was really cool.
Right.
I love that.
Okay, yeah.
I think that
They
was the
are
highlights of the season.
right because ever since the first season, her brother and dad were missing. They found her brother last season, and their dad was still a prisoner of the. And so they were able to get him back, I guess. And he's. Here's my problem. He's returning. They had him returning to go home to Earth, right?
Right.
What makes everyone think that Earth is going to believe them?
Mm.
So a missing astronaut comes back and like, do you really think they're all going to take him at his word, Jay?
Mm. I don't know.
Don't give me. What do you
Well,
think?
I'm doing that because we'll find out. That's what I mean.
I want to know like your educated guess. That's what I want to know.
Well, let's see. With the fact that they're doing space travel, and that's kind of how they found Voltron in the first place, right?
Right? They didn't. They found a lion.
Mm.
They found one of the lions. Is all they found.
I want
They
to say
haven't
they're
had
wrong. Probably. I
Earth
want to say they're
hasn't
wrong.
had Earth actually hasn't had contact with an alien species yet that they know of.
Oh, yeah. Then they won't believe them. No.
See. I think that's and I think that could be an interesting subplot in the future. Like if they send him back to Earth and they're not really believing that there's like that there's a Galra invasion. I did think that kind of Galra Olympics was sort of funny, where they had that kind of competition to be for the king of the Galra.
That was interesting because you got to see a lot of different Galra, and they pretty much just did what you expect them to. They all were cutthroat, going after each
They
other.
had
So that was
a
kind of
like
interesting.
they had a battle royal to light the
Yeah,
Olympic to light the Olympic torch.
yeah.
I
I
thought
thought
that was funny.
I thought it was kind of interesting too, where Lotor's old, little allies, compatriots, like turned against him. That was kind
Right.
of interesting.
Well, I mean, they're a warrior race, and all they care about is power.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder though if Hagar will ever like come to her senses and
We,
figure out.
we sort of saw her, didn't we? We saw where she
She's kind of going in and out, but she's still bad for right now.
true, but she saw him as a baby, right? So she's starting to kind of like
She had a flashback where she had a memory where she was pregnant with Lotor. So and she remember, and then she did see Lotor as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not Keith, but Keith met his Galra mother.
Mm-hmm.
So he was reunited with his Galra mother, who
was.
was
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
That was his Galra mother.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I want to say I probably did catch that. I just forgot.
We didn't get to really revisit it though, because it was kind of, again, this season was it was short. Mm-hmm. So stuff we would have normally seen go back to later, like we aren't going to see for another few months until they release the rest of the episodes, because this is really like a half season and not a full.
Yeah, and I liked how it ended. How the season ended was pretty dang cool. That was pretty awesome.
So we had that. So Keith meets his mother, and Lance has figured out how to make his Bayard, his weapon, into a broadsword.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
So I will say Lance was not as annoying this season. He was a better character this season, but here's the character I hate the most who is still annoying is Corin. I hate you. I want you to die.
I think Corin's awesome.
I don't want to know that you have like an intestinal worm eating the crap out of your intestines, okay? I do not want to know that. Okay? I mean, like why is that? That's not funny. It's gross. He's got like a worm. He says he's got like a worm living inside of him and it complains and stuff. I'm like, do we need to know that? Do we need to know he has like an intestinal tape? Like, that's gross. That's really gross, Jay. Stuff like that grosses me out. I miss Corin from the original series. He was a way better character, and guess who voiced Corin in the original?
I don't know.
Peter Cullen. Who's Peter Cullen?
Why does that sound familiar?
He's the voice of Optimus. He's the longtime voice of Optimus Prime.
Hey, that's right. I thought that name sounded familiar.
And in the original series, Corum was not a comic relief character, and he was way better.
I'd imagine, yeah.
If they just had the mice, her little pet mice, that would have been enough. That's enough comic relief. We don't need. Lance was more tolerable this season. In previous seasons, Lance was kind of annoying. He was kind of bratty, don't you think?
True. Yeah, now he started to grow up this season.
He's grown on me because now he's more of a warrior and less of a bratty, whiny kid, right? Don't you think?
I will say this show probably has maybe just 1-2 seasons left. That's probably all it has.
I think they have like another 26 episodes. I think.
Really?
I think they're going to do through season. So this was season 5, at least through season 6.
Okay.
I read somewhere they have a number of episodes. I think they could probably do at least through 7, based on the episode count I read.
I don't know if they should though, because it's like you can. I could tell with this season at the end. I'm like, this show is coming slowly.
It depends. It depends. I guess it depends on where they want. Where they want to end it.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. So overall, your rating of season. This is season 5.
I would say
This should be season 4 or season. No, they should be. Yeah, they should be season 4.
Yeah, I would say I'd give it probably maybe a 7.5. It had I'd give it an 8. An 8.
Okay.
Like it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely more like because I think it was season 3 or 4 that had 2 episodes I really hated. This was just that one little thing with the robot I didn't like and thought was silly and kind of dragged the whole episode down. But that was really it. I didn't really have any big problems with besides that.
All right. So also for Netflix, God help me, the Boss Baby is getting a Netflix series. You must be over the moon over this. So
no, actually, funny thing is, I watched the trailer. I'm like, it could be good, but it could be really terrible too. It's a possibility.
It looks terrible, just like the movie.
Well, I didn't hate the movie, so we're on different footing. But yeah, the show. Oh, we'll see. It's got nobody from the movie, so we'll see.
Okay, so let me see what else here. There was Black Mirror for Netflix.
Mirror, right?
What was that?
Wasn't like Mini Mirror or something like that?
Black Mirror.
Okay, I just thought that was what the trailer was.
Per Deadline, Netflix has renewed Black Mirror for a 5th season, created by Charlie Brooker. Episode count is unknown, but so if you're a fan of Black Mirror, you will be getting another season. All right, so moving on from that, still on Netflix, we got some new promo artwork for Daredevil Season 3 that looks really cool. Joe Quesada, the CCO of Marvel, he's been doing these promo artwork things for the Marvel shows. He did one for Jessica Jones that looks really cool, and now we have one for Daredevil Season 3 that looks especially cool. It's got the DD logo on it. It's got Daredevil jumping off. I really like this artwork. But moving on from that, I can now say, because the embargo date is passed, to say that I have seen screeners of the 2nd season of Jessica Jones. I've seen the first 5 episodes of season 2, which debuts on Thursday.
Yes.
That's March 8th for International Women's Day. That's when season 2 drops. So I can say, without getting into specifics, I have seen season 5. I like what I've seen so far. Pacing is a little rough. It's not quite as good as I would say the first half of the first season was. And there are a couple narrative writing issues that I'm not overly fond of. Kristen Ritter is great. Rachel Taylor is great. And it seems like it's going somewhere, so I kind of want to wait to give my full review until I see the rest of the season. But so far, I like what I'm seeing, but it's not quite as. Here's my feeling. The first season was like, boom, right out the gate. Was like a knockout punch. And then I think, I don't know if you agree, but I think the last few episodes it kind of ran out of steam a little bit for the first season. What did you think?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode of season 2 so far, but I like it. So
Okay.
I'm excited to see what happens next.
Okay, and David Tennant was amazing in that show, right?
True, he was.
And we know he's been confirmed for season 2, but we don't know what capacity.
Probably flashbacks.
We're not 100. I guess we're still waiting to see. We don't know what capacity he's appearing in season 2.
That's true.
So, we can't. So you saw the first episode. So you liked the first episode.
Uh-huh.
Thoughts on Kristen Ritter?
She does a great job as getting. You know what's interesting about just from the first episode, what I saw is
Without getting into specifics.
It's not specifics, but
Right.
they're taking the show in a different direction. But I like the direction it's going.
Okay.
That way.
Okay, I think that's a good comment because again we can talk about our thoughts, but we can't like really say what we saw, right? That's the basic.
Right.
Yeah, that's the basic gist of it. So, either way, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season. Are you going to be watching season 2 this weekend, Jay?
Absolutely, definitely.
Okay. And what were your thoughts on the first season overall?
It was pretty interesting because it was, I think, for Netflix, when the first season came out, it was the first show you saw where it was a really imperfect, not even want to be a hero. This is what it was. There's this girl had powers. She knew she had powers. She was like, damn it, I don't want to even have these powers to be a hero. I'm just a alcoholic who, just doesn't want to, even be a PI right now.
She's not quite an alcoholic, but she's close.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, she was imperfect. We hadn't really seen that before. And we saw Daredevil, and then there was Jessica Jones, right?
Right.
So it was like Daredevil he may not have been perfect either, but he wasn't this imperfect. So it was kind of interesting to see that.
Daredevil is a pretty flawed guy, though.
So. True, but like with her, like because I remember that teaser very well, where the alarm goes off and she smashes it to bits. I remember that teaser very well for Jessica Jones. So
I don't think that was in the series though.
I don't think it was either, but it was an interesting teaser.
It gives you the flavor of the character, right?
Yeah, it did.
It tells you something about the character. I'm just gonna instead of hitting the snooze button, I'm just gonna smash my alarm clock to bits.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so moving on from that, we got our first teaser trailer for Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet. So this is a sequel to Wreck-It Ralph. How'd you like that teaser, Jay?
I absolutely loved it because when we were at D23, and
the footage.
I saw the footage.
Oh wait,
I
didn't get to see it.
But the thing that was kind of a bummer was you saw that one little clip, and then like when they had the little teasers there, it was a teaser in every sense of the word. Okay, Ralph ends up on the internet. How? We have no freaking idea. Just somehow Ralph and Penelope are on the internet.
So this at least shows us how he gets. Yeah, shows us how he gets.
Yeah, in this teaser you see exactly how it happened, and it's funny because there's actually an Easter egg in there. I think there's like a baby Moana is the girl who's playing on her cell phone when the bunny's.
She looks like she looks the same, but I don't think that is Moana, right?
No, it's not. It's just an Easter egg where it's like it looks like
the same right
thing. But yeah, I love this.
That scene was disturbing.
I thought it was hilarious. And I love this trailer from start to finish because
that poor traumatized toddler.
But I love this trailer from start to finish because you see how they get in there, you see how Ralph messes with things a little bit, they're being themselves, and then it's great, like they go into a freaking little like cell phone game. It's hilarious.
I do like that when they go into the internet, like you can see all the logos and things are like for real websites. Like you can see IMDb in there. So they got the license to use all those real life logos.
And it was funny too.
Like the Emoji Movie.
And it was funny too. You see the parts where it's like you could almost be a winner, and hey, check out this. Like all that stuff. He was like, oh, that's nice. That was funny.
but don't you feel bad for that bunny?
No, because it's funny. It's comedy.
That bunny exploded.
The bunny will be fine. It'll have an extra.
How do you know it'll be? And that poor little girl she just wanted to play her little casual tablet game in the bunny.
Well, they call it Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet for a reason.
But Ralph is not he's just because he's a bad guy doesn't make him a bad guy.
True. I'm just curious. I just want another trailer because I want to see who is the bad guy of this, right?
We don't.
That's,
Well, all we really saw about the story was sort of how they get lost in the internet.
yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
really get too much. Maybe Ralph is a bad guy. Who knows?
Mm.
Maybe Ralph is just wrecking things, and
Yeah,
he doesn't really realize how bad he's doing it, and he has to learn to fix himself. I don't know.
yeah, I just know that seeing this trailer, it definitely got me much more pumped for this movie. That's for sure.
I still hope Fix It Felix is in there.
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, I haven't heard too much else about the movie.
Yeah, I would
See.
just imagine they at least show up in a cameo or
I
something.
mean, we know Vanellope and Mr. Litwack are in there, but I haven't seen Felix in the. Okay, Felix is in there.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Is Jane Lynch going to be back as Calhoun? I want to. She was my favorite character in the first movie.
I thought they said Mario was going to be in this one. I thought.
I hope he is.
Mm-hmm.
He was referenced in the first movie, but I don't think we ever actually saw him.
Was he? I don't remember him.
He was referenced. Sonic the Hedgehog was in it.
Yeah, Sonic. I remember.
Bowser was clearly he was in there in the villains.
I remember that. And the ghost from Pac-Man. I remember that.
Right. Zangief from Street Fighter. Some of the other Street Fighter characters.
Satine.
Who?
Satine. He was like, Satan, it's Satine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was a made up. That was a made up character. That's not a real game character.
I thought he was from some kind of bad something.
No.
Really? Okay. Well.
He was just like the zombie. I think was a made up zombie.
I thought the zombie was from like Plants vs Zombies or something like that, or some kind of zombie game.
No.
Okay.
Like the website just says he's a villain in one of the games in Litwack's arcade.
Oh, okay.
So he's not. He was an original character made. So not all those characters at the villains at the Badanon were like existing characters. Bison was in there and Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
Yeah. Someone who looks like Kano from what looks like a beholder from Dungeons and Dragons.
Remember the Kano one, kind of.
But not all of them. But not all of them were existing video game characters. Some of them were original, made for the movie.
Yeah, but it was a great teaser trailer, and I can't wait to see more.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking. That should be a good film. So, we're not talking about Star Wars Rebels tonight. Tonight the finale airs. I think we're gonna wait a little bit until we've seen it, and then we'll talk about like the whole series finale and what comes next.
But on that, real quick, can you tell us about how that Q&A went? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I can't say too much without giving away spoilers, but we had a very nice Q&A. Do you know Donald Faison from Scrubs?
Yeah, I do.
He was there. He had a very fun interaction with the creator Dave Filoni. Nice. They had a fun back and forth. Let's see who else.
Steve Bloom was there, right?
Steve Bloom was there. I got to talk to him and his fiance Mary Elizabeth, who voices Governor Price.
Nice.
Vanessa
Martin. I've met him before. Steve Bloom is a nice guy. I've met him.
He's a very nice guy. He's a good dude. He's also Jewish like me, so I really appreciate that. Vanessa Marshall, Hera was on the panel. Tia Sakar, Sabine was there, and Taylor. I got a photo with Taylor Gray. He was very cool. They gave out free popcorn, which was nice because I was hungry.
Nice.
We got drinks and bottled water, which was good. They gave out free posters, and it's at the Disney lot, so it's very nice. So
very cool.
It's always nice to see something on the Disney lot because it's a place with so much history. You know, it's like it's cinematic history.
That's very true.
And it's the lot in Burbank, and I've seen and it's the same theater where I've seen Rogue One, The Last Jedi. And The Force Awakens. I've also seen Frozen there, so it's a pretty amazing theater that I've got. I'm very grateful, and I feel very lucky that I've gotten to be able to go to some of these events and be able to be a part. I feel like I get to be a part of just history, you know. Just say I was there for the world premiere of such and such. I got to see Frozen before anyone else at Walt Disney Studios. So that's pretty Zootopia as well. So pretty special.
Very
so
cool.
it was a very good event, and I had a lot of fun. I had like more fun doing that than watching Last Jedi. Honestly,
Nice.
it was a great finale. So yeah,
Well, very cool.
I'm very much looking forward to when we can talk about the whole thing. But the finale, I think, is still airing on the West Coast, so we'll be able to talk more about that next week. Okay.
Absolutely.
Any other burning desires for this week, Jay?
The only other thing I want to talk about a little bit is they did release a teaser for Mary Poppins Returns. It looks kind of interesting.
With Emily Blunt as the new Mary Poppins.
Yeah, we see they show the kite from the original, which is kind of interesting.
It's a sequel. This is a sequel to the original film.
Yeah. Now, in this one, are the kids grown up? Is that
that's the idea? Is that
okay?
She's coming back to help with the kids from the first movie who are now adults and have kids of their own.
Okay, so the people we saw, like we saw two adults, that was the kids. Okay, interesting.
So,
and we got to see Lin-Manuel Miranda as Bert, which is kind of interesting a little bit. So,
right. And did you ever see Saving Mr. Banks?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of that film?
I thought it was amazing. I really liked it. And it was cool. They actually used real recordings from the girl, like, the woman.
In the credits at the end.
Well, that's where they got, like, a lot of their dialogue. And it was cool to see, of course, Howard Ashman and, what's the other guy's name? They were the two big...
The Sherman brothers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see them, and there were a lot of really good scenes, and I thought Tom Hanks was amazing as Walt Disney. He did a wonderful job.
But think about just how hard Walt Disney worked to get that movie made.
Yeah.
And how he probably wanted to make sequels, but he couldn't because
she didn't allow it. She was like, after that movie, nope, no mas.
Right. P.L. Travers, the original author of the Mary Poppins books, was like, no more. And now they're finally doing.
And not only that, but Colin Farrell was really great too as her dad. He was great.
That was also Ruth Wilson as her mother.
Yeah,
was very good in that film. And Emma Thompson as the adult P.L. Travers was very good in that film.
Yeah, they did this. It was just an amazing film all around.
Here's what I remember for that film. When I heard Tom Hanks was playing Walt Disney, I was like, perfect. He was born. I feel like he was born to play Walt Disney. Don't you agree?
Yeah, he did an amazing job. He really did.
So are you looking forward to the sequel?
It's another film I need to see more. I mean, it has potential to be good, but we'll really see is what it boils down to. That's just how it's.
What do you think of Emily Blunt playing Mary Poppins?
I don't know. I mean, she's a good actress, but I think it's just really big shoes to fill trying to play the same character that Julie Andrews played,
She was perfect in that movie, don't you agree?
Yeah, I do. So that's why I think it's going to be hard for Emily Blunt, because you have really big shoes to fill. You just do.
Fair enough. But what do you think of Lin-Manuel Miranda as Bert?
I don't think that's a bad idea, because he's definitely, not only is he up and coming, but he's done a pretty good job in all he's done. So I think that it's not a bad call at all, to be honest.
How do you like that Dick Van Dyke is playing Mr. Dawes Jr.? Dick Van Dyke from the original is back for the new film.
That makes sense. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I'll be darned.
What do you like the so you like that you're a fan of the original 1960s film, right?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of people deride Dick Van Dyke's performance in that film. What are your thoughts?
I thought he did a great job. It was really cool, actually. I didn't catch it until like a few years ago. But he not only played Bert, but he played the really old guy in the bank too. I didn't catch that till a few years ago. I was like, oh crap, I didn't know that.
People don't like his accent as Bert.
I don't know why.
I guess they don't feel it's authentic. They don't think it's a realistic British accent. It doesn't. Well, we're not British, so it doesn't really. We're Americans, so that doesn't really. Things like that. Okay.
So I think before we bring it to a close, just remind them that next week we will be talking about. I know I'm going to be seeing Wrinkle in Time this week and Gringo, and we can talk about Jessica Jones season 2 then finally, and we'll be able to talk about. We'll be talking about Trolls Beat Goes On
and Star Wars Star Wars Rebels.
And Trolls the Beat Goes On Season 2. I'll be watching that.
I won't be talking about that, but
I know you won't, but I will be.
That show is
And
garbage.
so we'll have all that going on, and definitely again
I
just
did
follow
get
us.
invited to Tomb Raider, so I will be doing
Nice.
that coming up.
Yeah, I will be too. I also am going to see that one. And again, just check us out on Facebook, on YouTube. We're on social media. Check us out, like us, follow us. And also be known that in a couple of weeks we'll be at WonderCon, so we'll be covering all the stuff there, and we'll be, hopefully doing some videos around there, all that.
WonderCon and probably a little bit of E3 too.
Yes, absolutely.
Now that I am set for E3, so we'll have some, probably like not a ton, but I think we'll probably be talking about E3 to some degree. So thank you everybody. Jay, thank you for joining us. Jay, just any plugs? How can people find you online and what have you?
The Good Men Project, that's where you can read my review of Lady Bird. I did a Blu-ray review recently, so you can check that out. I will have Disaster Artist coming up. I just got the review copy. It comes out the 13th, so I will have that. And you can read my book reviews on there, my TV show reviews of Grownish and Beyond and things like that. And of course, in the coming weeks too, we will be able to talk about the Roseanne revival. We really can't say anything yet, except that there was a little trailer
that looked awful.
A little bit about it. I beg to differ, but that's just me. But so so we'll be doing those in the coming weeks. So definitely keep an eye out for those. And that's all I
got. So for me, you can check out my Jessica Jones season 2 review right now on Formula One Mania. I'm also reviewing one of the actors coming up, so I'll have a little more news for that later. So an interview for Jessica Jones. Also, my review of Thor Ragnarok on Blu-ray will be up later this week.
Yeah, mine's up. Mine is already up.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Thank you, everybody, and have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.